Hey everybody, Mr. Schaefer here. We're beginning week 3, and I wanted to touch base with you briefly about the Developing Nation project. So to show you where things are, where to upload files, where resources are for the assignment. It's a long-term assignment, and it basically asks you to pull together all the topics we've talked about in the class in terms of geography of language, geography of religion, geography of politics, resources, culture, you name it, and look at a developing nation, sort of the stages the nations go through in terms of going from a third world nation to a first world, more developed nation. And so this video, I think, will sort of walk you through the Blackboard and let you see where your resources are. But like I said, the project is to demonstrate sort of all these concepts, how they play out in these developing nations. So it's summative in many ways. If you follow on the screen here, if you look at the left-hand side where my cursor is, you'll see Developing Nation Project. You click on that, it'll take you to everything you need, from the description to the rubrics to uploading your annotated bibliographies through your final submission. The top link, Developing Nation Project Description, lays out the project, what it is, why you're doing it. Like I said, my sort of rationale is it brings all the concepts we've talked about the whole semester sort of into one final assessment. And I like it because it's an assessment that isn't sort of multiple choice. Students aren't always good at taking those types of tests. So this is a way for students who aren't good test takers to demonstrate knowledge of a particular concept, skill, or idea we discussed. So it appeals to all learners in a sense. When you open up the description up top here, the PDF will open, and a brief description, the things that I said. Down below are the due dates for the annotated bibliography. As we go through the semester, I want you to specifically look at sources that discuss demographics and language and religion and politics and government and resources and environmental issues. By doing these bibliographies sort of in stages along the way, it helps you not procrastinate to the very, very end for the final assignment. The information you acquire in these bibliographies and annotate them will serve as the basis for your final project. More on that in a second here. As you scroll down, I've given you helpful sites, links to find information regarding your nation. So I try to sort of put things together for you to make it easy to find what you need. Okay, the database at Warwick is always great. Gale, EBSCO, and ProQuest, those are the best sources to look at. Okay, now down below I have an example of what an annotated bibliography looks like. So I try to give you an example to follow so you know sort of what I expect and what to do. Okay, find books or periodicals or topics that relate to the issue at hand, whether it's politics and government, whether it's language and culture, whether it's religion. Cite the book using APA style. Here's an example down here for you. But the most important part is give me a 3 or 4 sentence summary of what that source talks about. This is in essence sort of your research on that topic, religion, government, politics, whatever, that you will then use in your final presentation. So again, by doing these annotated bibliographies along the way, it helps you do research incrementally, gather sources, gather information, so you aren't scrambling at the last minute. It's sort of to prevent you from being a procrastinator. So that's the description to sort of get you started. I'm going to show you a few other things here. Here is a list of developing nations. Okay, there are lots of them. I don't care which one you choose. Choose any one you like. There are lots. Doesn't matter. You'll find lots of information on every single one of these. So pick one of those. Okay, and then begin your research based on that nation's language and religion, their politics and government, resource use, demographic information, that kind of stuff. As always, I like to give you examples. The final project will look something like this. Okay, I did the U.S. as my example. It's a developed nation, but I did it so that you guys can't steal what I did. But this is what it looks like. And if you see, it's a sort of brochure, visual representation of these ideas, and I've organized it thematically. I've got one column on demographics, one on language and religion. If you scroll down, I've got a section on the environment and resources, and then politics and government. So I've some information on each of those topics. The kind of information that goes in sort of the body paragraphs there, that's the information from your annotated bibliographies. You've done the research, now you're pulling it together. In addition to that, I would like you to have a graphic with every single topic. For example, demographics, I picked a population pyramid. Language and religion, pie chart, sort of what the U.S. religious makeup is, and then a map about language families in the U.S. Looking down here, politics and government, I have a infographic of our 3 branches of our federal government. And then for resources and the environment, I've got a chart on CO2 emissions, and then another one on nuclear power and active reactors. Things that I would have mentioned in sort of my body paragraphs, but the visuals are good illustrative tools to use for each of these topics. This is my example to follow, so by all means, look at it and follow it if it helps you. Hope it does. The last part you'll see here, these are the tabs where you upload your annotated bibliography. The first one's due October 3rd. It's on demographics, population pyramids, migrations, that kind of stuff, okay? And then language and religion, political information, and the natural resources and the environment. So those are the topics for each bibliography and when they're due. For each annotated bibliography, you should have 2 sources for every single one. So 2 on demographics, 1 on language, 1 on religion. That's 2, okay? 2 on politics and government. Maybe 1 on resources and 1 on environmental information. So you're doing 2 for each one of those submissions. And again, it helps you sort of gather your research for your final project, which will be submitted at the bottom here on December 12th. I hope this explainer helps. I recommend right now is getting started looking for demographic information on a developing nation of your choice, whatever that is. Okay. Talk to you guys soon.